we have seen the certified true copy of that judgment, and clearly on the top of it, the header. I don't know why they made that mistake. The judgment, as it were, assumedly proceeded from the APC presidential legal team. And you could see when the judges were reading it, they were not reading a judgment that was indigenous to them. They were not reading a judgment that they could own. They were, if you're reading your speech, you make very little mistakes. But when you're reading a prepared speech, a written speech, of course you could see it. Everybody who watched that, the longest, if you like, the longest judgment we've seen in our historicity, would understand that it was clearly about the puppet and the puppeteer. But I believe that...
Breaking news. Labour Party has come out to confirm the accusation with some bloggers, me and some other bloggers, have been accusing Justice Samani that APC wrote the judgment for them. We said it before the judgment day, and on the judgment day it was confirmed. We have been saying this since after the judgment. Right now, Labour Party has come out to confirm that. Guys, before I give you that this update, you know what I'm going to do for me? I beg, hit the like button so that Facebook and YouTube go recommend them. Number 2 thing, hit the share button. Share it on your timeline, share it to your status, share it to all the group. I assure you, this news is worth it. But before I give you the update proper, permit me to sing this song for you, please. When I remember Justice Oputa, water roll away my eyes, oh, aye, aye, water roll away my eyes. When I remember Justice Oputa, water roll away my eyes, oh, aye, aye, water roll away my eyes. When I remember Justice Oputa, water roll away my eyes, oh, aye, aye, water roll away my eyes. When I remember Justice Oputa, water roll away my eyes, oh, aye, aye, water roll away my eyes. I am sure some of you know Justice Oputa during Obasanjo era. When Obasanjo took over, Justice Oputa was the one he used to revamp the judiciary. I remember that time, Faba year 2000, 2001, every Nigeria will sit close to their television screen around 8 a.m. where they will be unveiling all the Nigerian politicians that have committed manners of atrocity. Even Babangida himself was summoned to Justice Oputa panel. All right, let me go to the news. Firstly, we all remember how EU wrote on their report. They screenshot the post of the current Minister of Aviation, a member of APC, a Rabo Raza, the APC member lawyer that always back on television by the name Festus Kayemo. Festus Kayemo, he accused Peter Obi of giving 1 billion naira to Nigerian pastors so that they could support him. But at the end, EU tape the tape of Festus Kayemo, they say is a rumor, that is a rumor peddler, right? Is a rumor monger. It was confirmed. EU wrote in their report that what Festus Kayemo said was a lie. It was fake news. Okay, where am I going to? Since that time that was confirmed that EU also attests to it, that Festus Kayemo, he carried what he accused Peter Obi of was fake news. Nobody arrested Festus Kayemo. Nobody has queried Festus Kayemo. What happened? He was promoted for that fake rumor. He was promoted for peddling fake news. Nobody arrested him. But what happened? A certain Chike Ibezi, who is a journalist, he also wrote a piece on social media that became popular. He said that Fashola, he said it before the judgment was delivered, tribunal judgment. He said Fashola was the one that wrote the judgment. Fashola was the one that wrote judgment and gave it to Justice Samani and his fellow crook to deliver. What happened? Illegally, Festus Kayemo used Fashola used federal might to arrest this guy illegally. Guess what? They didn't see this guy to arrest. They traced the number. It was his brother that owns the number that they arrest. Firstly, since when Nigerian law Nigerian constitutional law is against arresting somebody in a station. It's like your what's it called? Your as a parent, your child committed an offense. You are not there, right? Police will not come out or arrest you. Or your father committed an offense, police will not come out and arrest the child. So Nigeria constitution is against that. But they arrested the brother in a station. Now, what does that? If you ask any psychologist, they will tell you. It's like telling somebody is a thief. They say, I'm not a thief. I'm not a thief. Let me not beat around the bush. The person who wrote the judgment that was given to Justice Samani and his fellow criminals, crook, it was Fashola, Festus Kayemo, and the Olanik Meku na sumi na fi sumi. Anything that fit do me, only God so make una do. But I tell them what, they don't born with that papa way. They don't born with that way. Festus Kayemo, you attest to it that him and the other lousy guy, what's his name, FFK, that these guys, they are rumor mongers, fake news peddlers. That they with their level, they carry fake news against Peter Obi. They gave pastors 1 billion naira, and EU said it was a lie. Up till now, DSS, those hooligans, those political criminals, political hooligans, they never called him to query him, to question him. They never did up till now. Instead, he was promoted. Instead, he was rewarded for that. He was rewarded for peddling fake news. No problem. But a journalist just wrote and said, which is true, it has been confirmed. Labour Party themselves has come out and then a PDP spokesperson, I've forgotten the guy's name, and Labour Party, there's this Labour Party lawyer, I forgot the name, please. He was on Arise TV. He was saying it. He said the judgment was written and given to justice. What kind of country are we? This was no longer rumor. Me, only God saw. I said it before. I was not even aware of what they said that guy wrote. I said it before the judgment, the 6th of September, that they've written the judgment and been given to the justice to deliver. That APC did. I said it. I waited to find this, and I discovered, before I heard it from Labour Party lawyer, a member, the other tall guy, forgotten the name. Before I heard it on the Rise TV live, I was watching him. He accused that this judgment was written and given to the justice. Now, I'll be emphasizing it. I went to deep research. I discovered that Festus Kayemo, don't burn your papa away. Festus Kayemo, Olanik Meku, Fashola, they were the one that wrote this thing. So it means this other guy that they have access to, his brother in Abuja, that wrote in the piece, you understand, accusing Fashola only. We'll not even get locked. Not only Fashola accused, but me now, and they accuse the lousy guy, Festus Kayemo, and they accuse Olanik Meku. They could not do that papa anything when they do. Waka shege. Criminals. And please, let me say this one more time. When I remember justice Oputa, water run away my eyes, oh, haye, water run away my eyes. When I remember justice Oputa, water run. This was a time that Nigeria have responsible and seasoned justice. This was when Nigeria had judiciary that was at work. Judiciary system that protect the weak against the strong. But the generation, the era of Pablo Escobar and Buhari we had, currently Pablo Escobar, is an era, we now have a judiciary that protect the strong against the weak. But you see, God will deliver us from the hand. Whether we like it or not, now go feel suck our blood. God will deliver us. God will deliver Daniel. Shana Meshana Bedigo, he go deliver us. Every obedient, I beg you, share this video. Kayemo, Festus Kayemo Fashola, online the one that wrote that insulting, rubbish, shameless judgment and gave it to those criminals, those hooligans, disguising themselves as custodians of laws. Those hooligans that disguise themselves as justices, those criminals whose stomach as swollen like someone that swallow.
In one of those very funny paragraphs in the judgment, the judges came down to the arena. They did say about a certain witness from the Labour Party that she was a party member, the lady from Amazon, that they cannot admit her evidence because she's a member of the Labour Party, and then turns, on the other hand, to admit the evidence from a sitting senator, from a member, a reputable member of the APC, my brother and friend, who is presently the majority leader of the Senate, Bamidele Opeyemi. That's, on the one hand, admitting that clearly, if you like, maybe it was the voice of Esau and the hands of Jacob, or vice versa. But let me say clearly, as I talked to you this morning, what is important is that, like we said before the judgment, all eyes were on the judiciary. It was the judiciary that was on trial. We have seen the certified true copy of that judgment, and clearly on the top of it, the header. I don't know why they made that mistake. The judgment, as it were, assumedly proceeded from the APC presidential legal team. And you could see when the judges were reading it, they were not reading a judgment that was indigenous to them. They were not reading a judgment that they could own. They were, if you're reading your speech, you make very little mistakes. But when you're reading a prepared speech, a written speech, of course you could see it. Everybody who watched that, the longest, if you like, the longest judgment we've seen in our historicity, would understand that it was clearly about the puppet and the puppeteer. But I believe that what we're doing, this forensic, is actually interested in putting our democracy right, because congruent with democratic process is the transparency and the credibility of the electoral process.
All right.